The other day, someone sent me this video of a guy trying to turn a cucumber into a DIY concealed knife. And I just have to say, clearly this is the work of a genius. If not a genius, it had to be someone smarter than me, because I don't understand how it's a good idea. This seems like it's supposed to be a way to conceal your knife, but if it is, aren't you gonna be way more suspicious of the guy with a giant cucumber sticking out of his pocket? It just doesn't really make sense to me, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, as stupid as it seems, the internet is filled with weird life-hacky solutions to solve all kinds of problems. Why should weapons be any exception? That's why today I'm gonna be building myself an arsenal of the internet's finest DIY weaponry so that we can discover once and for all whether any of these things actually work. So to me, weapons are only really DIY if you can make them without using heavy machinery, like a grinding wheel or a bandsaw. So with that in mind, here are the other 4 that I decided to try. So I found this paint roller Spikebat over on r/MallNinjaSh, and apparently the story behind this one is they got confiscated by the TSA. I mean, honestly, I'm impressed. This guy must have had some sizable cojones to try to sneak this thing through airport security. But like, what was your plan, dude? Did you really think this was just gonna slide through the metal detector unnoticed? And even if you got it through, what next? It's not attached to the handle, so were you gonna try to put this together during the flight? Besides, even though it looks pretty scary, I'm not sure that it would actually work all that well. You've got so many nails sticking out of this thing that it might not even pierce the skin. It'd be like laying on a bed of nails. I feel like it'd be way more effective if instead of 60 nails, he used like 6. Up next, we've got these DIY knife shoes. I think my favorite part of these is that whoever made this video seems to be really sold on this being a good idea. For example, he uses Velcro to attach the knife to the shoe. According to him, this is great because it makes it easy for the knife to come off. It makes it easy for the knife to come off. And you know he's not kidding because later he puts on screen that he's bummed that he had to use glue to attach the knife, which to me makes it seem like it fell off too easily with Velcro. What did you think was gonna happen? I have to say, I'm not totally sold, but I guess I'll just have to see for myself. After that, I wanted to test out the classic Nerf darts with thumbtacks in them idea. This has been clickbaited to death. Even David Dobrik used it as a title, but I just don't see it working out. I don't know if you've ever seen a pushpin, but they're not actually all that long. Actually, I've got a story about this. When I was in kindergarten, I was working on pushpin art, where you punch out a piece of paper using a little pin. When all of a sudden, this kid I was working with grabbed a giant pushpin and started chasing me around the table, wielding it like a dagger, before eventually pinning down my hand and stabbing my thumb. I'm dead serious about this. Ever since, my parents have referred to this kid as Sean the Impaler. While I definitely cried, I also don't remember there being that much blood, and I definitely didn't have to go to the hospital. The needle's so tiny, it can't do all that much damage, so these Nerf darts are probably less dangerous than they seem, but obviously we'll have to test it out to be sure. Last but not least, I decided to test out this Jolly Rancher Shank. Apparently it's from some show called Black is the New Orange, but I was so blown away by this tutorial suggesting that you can use a gum wrapper and a AA battery to ignite toilet paper that I just had to test it out. I mean, there's no way this works, right? I can't imagine gum wrappers being very conductive, even though they're technically foil. Also, this video shows this guy using his bare hands to mold the molten sugar, which seems so painful, but I guess if you're incarcerated, you'll do whatever it takes. One thing's for sure, if this thing works, I really need to give prisoners more credit.
With a roster of weapons that felt as kludgy as they did crafty, it was time to try building them myself. The cucumber knife was pretty quick to put together, and it gets bonus points since I probably could have assembled the whole thing using just the knife that goes inside it. For accuracy, I sourced the exact knife that was used in the original video for use in my own cucumber. I hollowed out the back half of the cucumber with the drill to make space for the knife handle, and then I just pushed it in. I needed more space to fit it fully in the cucumber, so I tried pushing harder to get it. Whoops. Well, that's nothing a little duct tape can't fix. There, that'll probably work. I shoved the knife half back into the fresh half, and with that, the cucumber knife was just about done.
Just rolling up with my, what?
Next up, I started on the knife shoes.
For the shoes, we also got one of these cool knives that goes out the front. I really don't want to stab myself. Do I just is this a safety? Holy crap. Can somebody please clarify for me how this doesn't count as a switchblade?
I started by putting the knife against the bottom of the shoe so that I could trace the knife's outline on the rubber, which I then cut out with a big Olfa box cutter. After that, I just ripped that part of the rubber out mounted the knife with some hot glue to the inside of the shoe, because I didn't have Velcro, and at that point we should have a functional shoe blade.
All right, I think that's like pretty in. Let's just make sure it still works. We do this. There we go.
Next, it was time to make the paint roller Spikebat. This was a little trickier, since there was no video showing how it got put together.
Now, it looks like there are nails pretty much every single space that there can be, and I think it's glued onto here, and then for some reason, for extra reinforcement, they decided to wrap it in, like, cable.
Along with the lack of assembly instructions, I also didn't have a clear materials list. Looking at the points on the nails and the marks on their shafts, I made an educated guess that these were probably 3/4 inch roofing nails, which are perfect because they have a really wide head, so they're not likely to bust through the sandpaper. Counting the number of nails in the image, it looked like there were about 9 going around the outside, so I tried to match that amount in my version and spent about 30 minutes pushing nails through pieces of sandpaper. After that, I attached the nail sheets to the paint roller using high temperature hot glue.
Hot? Ow. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I burned myself quite a bit. Since I coated the whole back of each sheet in hot glue, these weren't gonna fall off anytime soon. But to be totally faithful to the original, I made sure to still wrap the whole thing in a healthy amount of galvanized steel wire.
So if we slide that puppy on here, wow, it is actually kind of sharp. I'm a little bit impressed. I don't know, I feel like we'll have to really see how it works out in the test, but interesting.
The fourth weapon I made was the Shank, and this one turned out to be pretty interesting. After a little trial and error, I actually found success way more quickly than I imagined.
Oh, holy crap. Holy crap, that actually worked. All right, sick. Well, we had more fuel.
Unfortunately, that success didn't last long.
Come on, like burn. I mean, it's more like smoldering than it is like burning.
And once the flame went out, I never managed to light it that way again.
Something's gotta catch on fire. You can do it. Ow, gosh. All right, well, this isn't working at all.
I decided that proving it possible was good enough for me, and instead, I used a small butane torch as my heat source for most of the construction.
You know, I'm happy to sacrifice realism and the expensive, like, just getting it done.
The mold with sugar proved to be much more workable than I expected, and I was able to build a rod with relative ease. Of course, I still managed to burn myself.
Ow. Frick, ow.
After making a rod, I needed to give the Shank a point, so I heated up the center section and pulled apart the sugar like taffy, and then I used the torch to smooth it out.
That looks honestly pretty freaking good.
So after that, I used heat to smooth out the rest of the rod, and then I also coated the whole thing in nail polish hardener. Apparently this is supposed to make it non-sticky and stronger in some way.
This is looking pretty good. But yeah, I feel like I can get someone with that.
Last but not least, I made the Thumbtack Nerf darts.
I got this gun and the darts for like $7. I figured it would be way more expensive. Okay, let's not cut my hands off. This one's honestly pretty self-explanatory. Take a Nerf dart, take a push pin, stick it out the front. Except I'm not gonna be able to do that just by pushing it through the back.
This one was also a little tricky, since there's no clear place to put the tacks. Fortunately, Nerf darts have a little bit of air in the tip, probably to soften the impact, but since it's the only open air pocket, that's where I decided to put the tacks. Out of the box, the tacks were too big, so I had to cut them down to size with the Dremel. After that, I made a small incision in the tip of the dart with a box cutter, pushed the tack through the opening, and then used hot glue to glue it all shut.
And there you go. All right, now that's one dangerous freaking Nerf dart.
I was curious about a couple things though, so I also made a fast, no tools version where I just ripped out the tip and glued the tack straight to the foam, as well as an extra large version where I used a roofing nail instead of a tack. I wasn't really sure if either of these would work better, but I figured I'd test them out anyway.
Once I put all the weapons together, I knew it was time to test them out. So I took them to a testing location. So we're here at Denison University, because, you know, it's where my camera person lives. Hello. Hi, wave. Wave with the camera, thank you. We've got a nice white backdrop. It's gonna be really easy to test. And the way we're gonna be testing these out is actually 2 different ways. So we're gonna be doing it with the dummy, of course. This is kind of our beefier testing rig. This duct tape outer shell is a lot more rigid than just skin. But because I wanna be fair, we're also gonna be doing testing using ballistic gel, but with this special rig that I've made. So the thing about ballistic gel is it does a really good job of simulating human flesh, but I am of the opinion, and other people have also voiced this same concern, it's not necessarily the perfect analog because it doesn't account for skin. What I've done is I bought this It's basically really thin silicone, and it's actually used for tattoo artists who want to practice doing tattoos, which makes it perfect for us if we're trying to simulate a fake skin on the outside of that flesh. I think we're gonna start with this Nerf gun. I feel like I should do a control. This is kind of science, right? So we're gonna do it with the regular Nerf dart first. Nerf dart control in 3, 2, 1. I don't know what I expected to happen. It hit it and bounced off. So cool. Now let's try one of the regular ones with a thumbtack in it. Thumbtack Nerf dart going in 3, 2, 1. Oh, what? I think that's what I expected. I want to see if it like sticks in at all though. Yeah, all right, so it definitely went in, like it definitely punctured. Didn't stay in, but even if it went in, you know, it's only going in like what? That much? I don't think it's exactly the internet's power weapon. Now what I want to test is I want to test the crappy version, which is I had to just rip out the tips and just glue that guy in. Crappy tip version, firing in 3, 2, 1. I mean, all right, I think it's as effective, which as we've clarified is not very effective. Now we're gonna shoot this at the block of gel. If it goes in, this would be a much more effective like dart. Giant push pin dart, firing in 3, 2, 1. Did it go in? I don't think it went in. It definitely hit. I think it's basically too wide. I think that it's not narrow enough to really, you know, break the skin. All right, thumbtack Nerf darts in 3, 2, 1. I mean, that's pretty good. Look at that. I mean, that's sticking in. You know, barely. I'm gonna shoot it one more time with the bigger one. I wanna see if it sticks in. This is why I like the dummy. The dummy is so reliable. 3, 2, 1. So this one actually made a hole right there. You can see it is about the same size. So it didn't go all the way in, but like the problem is you've got jeans on. Even if you punch through, I mean, I'll shoot, you know what? I'll shoot it at my jeans.
God, okay.
All right, here we go. Yeah, that didn't hurt at all. I'm gonna say no on this one. These are terrible, they don't work at all. You're better off using an airsoft gun. Don't do this, it is more work than it is worth. I think that the next one on the list has to be the Shank. We're gonna test the Shank on the bare ballistic gel first. Jolly Rancher Shank, testing 3, 2, 1. See, that's why we need the skin. That was so easy. Yeah, that gel did no resistance at all. All right, let's give this a whirl. 3, 2, 1. Oh man, that actually freaking worked. Holy crap. That is way more effective than I expected. I could easily keep shoving it way further in there. Dang, all right, I guess this guy gets to like go against the dummy. Can this guy stand up? He has like thighs. Heck yeah. Show me a channel that has a better homemade test dummy. Like, it would be better if I could afford to buy like whole hogs every time I want to test stuff. But you know, we're not there yet. Jolly Rancher Shank in 3, 2, 1. Holy crap! That actually worked. I'm honestly shocked. So it's not maybe gonna kill you, but that's definitely damage. And this is through duct tape, which is pretty strong. And the tip didn't even break off. That is way more effective than I thought. I'm freaking floored. Let's give it one more go just to see, because I wanna see if it'll break off. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I mean, it's going in no matter what. Oh, there you go. All right, so I mean, it can eventually break, but even then you still have a Shank. If you're trying to find an effective weapon, this will actually work. It'll actually do damage. You can actually use this to defend yourself. So up next is gonna be our paint roller. This is a tough one. I'm not really sure. I feel like this is the kind of thing you're gonna come down on someone like that. I could try doing that. 3, 2, 1. I mean, it looks like it hurt like a mofo, but let the record show, it did not break the skin. There are no holes in this. I mean, that's gonna leave a bruise. Here, I'll give it one more slap. Paint roller of death in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I really am not pulling my punches, and that's just not going through. And I really think it's because you have too many points of contact. So far, this is no good. So let's test out this paint roller on the bigger dummy. I don't know if it's gonna make a huge difference, but you know, let's give it a whirl. All right, 3, 2, 1. I mean, that's gonna hurt, but like, I'm gonna try dragging it down maybe and seeing if I can like get a scrape in it. 3, 2, 1. Oh, okay, hey, come here. That's actually a decent strategy. So look, I actually got a bunch of punctures. Look, see? So if you drag it, I think you can actually probably then rip the skin. Because if you just try to push, it's not gonna work. But like, here, let's give it one more go. I'm gonna try to really get him in there. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, look at that. Okay, so it was hard to tell in the gel, but I think this is actually kind of working. I mean, you'd hurt the guy. I mean, it's not gonna kill you. Honestly, it's probably even gonna be pretty hard to hit your eyeball, because even if you're hitting like right there, look at this. The other nails are blocking the nails that are in line with my eye from going into my eye, because there are so many. If you put this many nails in something, you might as well not have put nails on it at all. You'll hurt the dude. It's not gonna be like a one and done blow. This isn't knocking him out. I'm gonna say it counts as a weapon. I have spoken. What's left? Oh right, the shoes. Let's test the shoes. Okay. Oh, that feels so bad. You can feel it through the shoe because you remove the sole, and so now you can feel it. Also, you're definitely gonna hear it. This is definitely a bad idea, but I do wanna see if it'll work. Shoe knife in 3, 2, 1. I mean, it's effective. You're gonna absolutely destroy any gelatin blobs in your way. Let's just do one final test into the body of the dummy. All right, knife into test dummy in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna put this up against a real wall. Shoe knife, going again, 3, 2, 1. I really hit that, and it's still deflecting off. Look, the terrible like, oh, we're just gonna Velcro it so it comes off easily. It like makes it just not work well. I mean, it works. Like, sure, he's injured, but now he's the man with the knife. And what do you have? A shoe with a hole in it. Plausible, I guess. 4 out of 10. Last but not least, we've got the cucumber knife. So the problem with the cucumber blade, as we discovered yesterday, is basically that the back half isn't all that strong. So we're gonna make sure that we have enough room. That looks good, look at that, all right? Do it. But we're gonna wanna do this over the sink. Look, now you've got a cucumber blade. There you go, boom. All right, you're just gonna shove that. That was terrible. That guy back in there. And now you're good. You're good. You can anywhere you need it. You're just like, oh, bat. Okay, let's just test this guy. Cucumber knife test in 3, 2, 1. I hit a little bit high, but let's give that another whirl. 3, 2, 1. I mean, if I hadn't hit the wood, that would have gone straight in. I mean, I guess it kind of works, but like if you don't hold it just right, it comes out the back. You have to like squish it down to use it. You know, we'll test some of this stuff on the dummy. I just think it's entirely possible to like just come out the back or get deflected. So 3, 2, 1. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this isn't the worst weapon we tested today. This is actually kind of okay. It's a terrible idea from like every angle that isn't, does it hurt people? I guess it counts as a weapon. It's gotta be the only decent knife with an expiration date. So, after testing 5 unique DIY weapons off the internet, verdict is, for the most part, they worked better than I expected. I honestly came in thinking that probably 2 out of 5 of these would work, but much to my surprise, they've all proved themselves in one way or another to be kind of effective weapons. And to me, I think that's at least kinda cool. Is it worth the time required to make them? I mean, no. No. Are they safe? Again, also no. But are they weapons? Yes. So if you guys like this one, make sure you slap a like on it. If you didn't, let me know down in the comments what you'd rather see. If you want to help support more videos like this one, you can check out my Patreon, which will be linked over here, or if you want to watch another video, you can check it out over here. Make sure you turn notifications on, because I only post like once a month, so that way you won't miss anything. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace.